Keane's Man United exit saga as Silvestre's theory on infamous MUTV rant emerges. Manchester United's illustrious history is soaked in footballing romance, but the story of arguably the club's greatest ever captain is one drenched in controversy. Roy Keane, the driving force behind boss Sir Alex Ferguson's hyper-successful team for over a decade, left Old Trafford how no fan, player or manager would have hoped for. On November 18, 2005, the Irishman's Red Devils career was dramatically cut short as he walked out on United after an infamous never-aired interview with the club's official television channel. Tales of the fallout have been told across the 16 years since, and now another has emerged, that of former Red Devils centre-back Mikael Silvestre. Join the debate. Should Keane have stayed at Man United? Let us know your thoughts below. The Frenchman, more than halfway through his 9-year stint as a United defender, was part of the infamous Xi who lost 4-1 to Middlesbrough shortly before Captain Keane's departure, who was himself ruled out of the match through injury. Following the Premier League clash, which played a significant part in dashing Ferguson and co.'s hopes of winning the title in the 2005-06 season, Keane was asked to analyse the game on MUTV, and it went exactly as expected. The Republic of Ireland legend, known for not mincing his words, blasted his teammates and received a £5,000 fine for his fiery comments. He said of club record signing Rio Ferdinand, as per The Guardian, just because you are paid £120,000 a week and play well for 20 minutes against Tottenham, you think you are a superstar. But Silvestre was happy to take Keane's flack alongside the rest of the team, hinting that MUTV themselves, keen to bury the interview in order for it never be broadcast to the public, were to blame for creating the disaster. As players, we knew that Roy was always straight with us, and he would treat everybody the same, Silvestre told freebets.com. He said, "What I told the MUTV guys, I would have said to your face, so the interview wasn't an issue for us." You could almost blame MUTV for putting him in that position, because if you know Roy, he's not going to hold back. It was a disaster in the end, but it could have been dealt in a much better way. A meeting was called by Ferguson and his assistant, Carlos Queiroz, for the entire group to watch the interview back, believed to be last time Keane and his United teammates were won. Silvestre added, "I felt bad to the point that when Roy left the meeting, I was the first one to leave after him about a second later because I wanted to drag him back to the meeting," he recalled. "I didn't feel it was the right way to end things, so I followed him to the dressing room, but couldn't get a word out to make him change his mind to go back upstairs to the meeting. I just saw him get changed, and then he left." Nevertheless, tensions had been brewing long before the trip, that fateful trip Middlesbrough, as Keane and Ferguson had been at odds since pre-season. To add fuel to the fire, the midfield colossus was also in the final 12 months of his contract and admitted in a previous MUTV phone-in that he would be open to a new challenge, a move which is said to have angered his manager. Exactly 2 months before leaving prematurely, the 67-capped international walked off with an injury against bitter rivals Liverpool at Anfield in what would be his final game for the club. It is widely understood that a tackle from Luis Garcia inflicted Keane's injury, as scans soon revealed that the Red Devils icon had broken the third metatarsal in his left foot. Not only was the midfielder's absence a blow for his club throughout October, but his country. Keane missed Ireland's World Cup qualifying match against Switzerland, which resulted in a 0-0 draw, when a win would have handed the boys in green a playoff place. Later in the month, came Middlesbrough's shock victory, giving reigning champions Chelsea breathing room above United at the top of the table. Wayne Rooney, then only a teenager and embarking on his second term at Old Trafford, recounted his version of events in early 2021, echoing the same fair game sentiment as Silvestre. To be fair, it wasn't that bad, Rooney admitted on Tony Bellu's BBC podcast. "I think it was obviously a problem with Roy and the manager in the past. So, anyway, it's got into an argument and a few different things got said and I see Alex Ferguson jump over his desk and I'm thinking wow, this is crazy. He jumped over the desk, he's getting held back, it got calmed down. Anyway the next day Roy Keane's come into training and then about 30 minutes later we've seen him driving off, and that's the last we've seen of him." Keane, too, has maintained that none of his teammates truly had a problem with the interview, writing in his 2014 autobiography, "The second half, it was getting a bit silly, so I got the players together in the dressing room and told them it was FG nonsense. They were all going, yeah. Not one of them had an issue. Not one. Even now people still say the video had to be destroyed. Like it was a nuclear weapon or something." He continued, "I said to Darren Fletcher, 'Fletch, I had said something about my wife tackling better than him for one of the goals. But I could tell he was fine with it. But the manager and Carlos were in the back with steam coming out of their ears. The manager said, "It's a disgrace, this FG video." So what did Ferguson, who has been the subject of scathing criticism from Keane since, make of it? Have your say. How should Man United line up against Newcastle? Pick your team below. At the launch of his own autobiography, the legendary Scotsman laid out his methodology behind a decision, claiming the dressing room relaxed once the situation was resolved. For one reason or another he decided to criticize his own teammates, Ferguson explained. We couldn't release the video. 2 of our young players got booed before a match, and we decided we had to do something. The meeting in the room was horrendous. I just couldn't lose my control in his particular situation. If I had have let it pass, I think the players would have viewed me differently. He went on, Roy overstepped his mark and there was no other thing we could do. We did well by him, paid up his contract, gave him a testimonial in front of 75,000 people. I did everything to honor the player he was for Manchester United.